welcome to this Week 4 edition of the Football Preview Show here on GameTimePA-TV. I'm your host, John Buffone, and throughout this episode we'll be checking in with all of our GameTime PA reporters to break down the most interesting matchups in their area. Let's start right here in Lancaster, where the premier matchup of the week is LampeterStrasburg at Solanco. As section play opens on Friday, the Gold Mules are emerging as an early possible favorite in a loaded Section 2. Solanco rushed for over 330 yards against W.C. Henderson last week in a 28-7 victory. Quarterback Noah McCardle rushed for 140 yards and 3 scores, while tailback Robbie Hassel rushed for 170 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, LampeterStrasburg is coming off an impressive 54-7 victory over Conestoga Valley, in which quarterback Bear Shank accounted for 5 touchdowns, and the LS defense racked up 8 sacks against the Conestoga Valley offense. This Week 4 matchup should gauge the temperature in an already heated section. Now let's see what's going on in the rest of South Central PA.
This is Brandon Stoneberg, the York Daily Record. Our game of the week is Northeastern at Central York. It's becoming quite a bit of a little border rivalry up there near Emmetsville. And last year, Central actually blew out Northeastern 44-17. But this year could be a lot different. Northeastern's off to a 3-0 start, and they have Shannon Valenti at quarterback. Valenti can do it all. He's ran well, he's passed well, and he's playing his old team. Maybe he can bring some old tricks against his former team. We'll see how it goes. Central, on the other hand, they're off to a 1-2 start, but they've lost to Hempfield and Cumberland Valley, 2 pretty stout defenses. They're trying to get back on track as division play opens up. Coach Livingston's got these guys ready to go, and they're fired up to get division play underway. We'll see how it goes Friday night.
I'm Zach Miller from the Evening Sun in Hanover, and our game of the week is Hanover at Bermudian Springs. Last year, Bermudian Springs won Division III, went undefeated, and Hanover was only 2-8. This year, Hanover actually comes in 3-0 after a 13-6 win against Eastern York last week. Quarterback Kyle Kraut is one of the league leaders in passing yards. He's got 496 yards in 3 games. Meanwhile, Bermudian Springs is 0-3 for the first time since 2007. They have not been able to throw a pass. They only have 5 completions on the year. 4 of them came last week. They only had 1 in the first 2 games of the year. We'll see, though, in this game if Hanover is a real contender in Division III or if Bermudian Springs is still the team to beat.
Out here in Lebanon, it's Andrew Callahan and Pat Huggins, as always, breaking down games from Week 4. Leading off, we have Elko against Pequay Valley, Section 3 opener for the Raiders. They started 0-3 in the season, so now at home against the Braves. This game essentially could not be any bigger. The Braves, meanwhile, 2-1, coming off of 2 games where they've allowed a total of 6 points. It's going to be tough sledding, which should be an exciting game, as always, in Myerstown on Friday night.
And in Palmyra kicking off Mid-Penn Capital Division play against Trinity, 3-0 after last week's shutout win over Donegal, and we'll see if the Cougars can keep it going. Could be a big step toward being in contention in the Capital Division.
I'm Sean Michael with Game Time PA's Franklin-Fulton, and this week we begin division play when the Greencastle Antrim Blue Devils hit the road to face the Big Spring Bulldogs. Greencastle had a roller coaster week last week and a win over West Perry. After a 21-21 tie at halftime, the Blue Devils scored 28 points in the fourth quarter to pull away for a 56-21 win. Offensively, the biggest key for the Blue Devils is balance. When quarterback Spencer Myers stays between 20 and 25 passes and Demetrius Burton and James Hines get going on the ground, the Greencastle offense is tough to stop. Defensively, the Blue Devils will focus on limiting big plays and keeping quarterback Jarrett Petty in check. Greencastle gave up 3 plays of 50 yards in the first half last week, and Jarrett Petty is Big Spring's leading rusher and passer. If Greencastle can limit the big plays and have balance on offense, they should have no problem improving to 4-0 this week.
Well, that about wraps up this edition of Game Time PA-TV. Thank you for tuning in. For updates on all your favorite games, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And as always, enjoy the games this weekend.